Alright, much Abrew about nothing time. Playing some Alesha Reanimator in Modern. And, I mean, this hand's fine. Looks like just a good Jund hand. Got some removal, got some discard and ooze, so no real Alesha combo or anything, but our opponent is on. Alright. Looks like Eldrazi and Taxes. So I think we're just going to Swamp and Inquisition. Hopefully hit something. Oh, okay. Flicker Wisp, Path, Sira, Avenger, and Kitchen Finks. I think we're just going to kill their Ether Vial next turn, which means they're going to have a hard time casting anything. I think we're just going to take Kitchen Finks since it's most resilient to removal. Pass the turn. And we don't really care that much if our ooze gets pathed. Yeah, because once we kill this Vial, our opponent's actually in dire straits. They need to draw 2 white sources to be able to really play Magic. So let's just Forest, pass the turn. On our opponent's upkeep, when Ether Vial triggers, we will just Abrupt Decay it. Unfortunately, we can't really punish our opponent for this clunky draw with this hand. Alright, opponent drew their first white source, so they're getting closer to being able to do things. Another Vial. Wouldn't mind drawing something to fuel our graveyard. Well, let's play Ooze, play a Forest, pass the turn. I'm kind of expecting this to get pathed, but at least we can, I don't know, gain a life. There's the path. So we'll just eat the Kitchen Finks, gain a life. Grab a mountain, and pass turn. Would love to find a Grizzly Salvage, might be our best draw. Faithless Looting would also be pretty reasonable here. Alright, opponent has Inquisition. So we know their hand, Flicker Wisp and Sira Avenger. They probably got to take the Pulse to keep us from just killing their Vial again. Yeah. So at least this way they get to play creatures. Well, we have not drawn very much action. We've kind of just drawn all lands. I think every spell we've had has was in our opening hand. Yeah, alright. At this point, we might start holding lands. Oh, alright, we'll play Bloodstained Mire. We want to hold 2 lands because if we draw a Faithless Looting, we can just immediately discard them. We're just going to bolt this Sira Avenger. If we let our opponent Vial up to 3 before we do, they can Flicker Wisp to save it, so we might as well just get rid of it. Our hand is nicely insulated from a Thought-Knot Seer. Well, I guess the good news is we got the Faithless Lootings in our deck. And Grizzly Salvage that can help find them. So even though our draw is really bad, and we've just like mega flooded out, Leonin Arbiter for our opponent. This can all turn around really quickly. So let's pay for Arbiter. We could have done this before Arbiter came down, but it doesn't really matter. We don't have anything going on. We will get a Blood Crypt tapped. There's a Salvage. That's one of the things we were rooting for. I think we're just going to main phase Grizzly Salvage. Because if we hit a Faithless Looting and mill it, then we can flash it back and get rid of these lands. And then our hand suddenly goes from horrible to hopefully really good. Well, not great. We get an Alesha, but we whiff on Faithless Looting, and we mill another Grizzly Salvage. So play Alesha, which at least in this scenario plays good defense. Really wanted to hit Faithless Looting there, because our Alesha can't actually return anything right now, which is a bit annoying. We milled a Grizzly Salvage that we would have liked to draw, so that's one less of those. Well, I guess we can cast anything that we draw, which is good. And in all honesty, like Terminates and Lightning Bolts would be fine, but they're not really super important to us at the moment. Our opponent can't really beat us down, so I mean, they're better than drawing more lands if that's the option, but I would rather mill those and draw Faithless Lootings or even just creatures. Alright, there's Ether Vial for our opponent. empty-handed. Gonna flicker our Alesha. Sure. Well, we keep drawing lands. Bloodstained Mire. Pass the turn. Bloodstained Mire at least lets us thin out our deck. We got to be getting to the point where we don't have many lands left in our deck. Gives away a bit of information doing it this way, but I think it's worth it. So opponent gets in with Flicker Wisp. We drop to 17. Dark Confidant. Removal spell for that would be helpful. So let's ignore this Leonin Arbiter. Crack Bloodstained Mire. How many lands are left? 1 shock. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. More than I'd like. But still, not that many. But I guess we will keep drawing them. Well, we're going to be down to 11 after we crack this Wooded Foothills. Aye. Well, the advantage we had from our opponent being mana screwed is pretty much completely gone now. Especially since they drew that Dark Confidant. As they say, mana screw beats mana flood, and it's looking like that's going to ring true in this game. Opponent gets an Inquisition, which they know is a dead card. Will always be a dead card because we'll just cast anything we draw. If they can kill our Alesha, they can suddenly start attacking. Our opponent should have known our hand, but cast Inquisition. I guess it's not getting any better, but still, I don't know what the reason for casting it there is. Opponent gets in with Flicker Wisp. Well, we're going to crack this fetch. It does kind of throw the math off, makes Flicker Wisp before turn clock. We are... I guess we better get Forest in case we draw Bloodstained Mire. It doesn't matter. We'll get Overgrown too. Our fetches are essentially dead anyway. Oh my goodness. This has been... This draw, we're going on turn 9. I swear to God, I think we've drawn 2 non-land spells. Actually, we drew 1. We drew 1 non-land spell this entire game in 9 turns. Because that one was Grizzly Salvage, which found us Alesha, so we didn't technically draw the Alesha. So we are, I'm pretty sure draw steps were 8 of 9 for drawing lands, and that's with many fetches being cracked. We have done our best to thin out our deck. And now it's going to be hard to catch up. There's Seer Avenger, another big flyer. Yeah, we're getting to the point where we're just dead. And I don't know if we have a draw that saves us here. I mean, look at our deck as we search out another land. Creatures don't really do it. Huntmaster. I guess PN Karinalar is our best draw. Well, we're down to 9 lands, so hopefully we stop drawing them. Master of Cruelties is not good. I mean, we'll cast it. Technically, we're not just dead here. Yeah, maybe we are. I think we actually are just dead. Well, sometimes you flood out. Our opponent hasn't shown that they're able to track what cards are in our hand, so maybe they won't remember that we have all lands and try to attack for lethal. Flicker Wisp makes it more likely that our opponent will go for it, because they can just flicker a blocker. Well, that was something. These lands. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. To be fair, we tend to remember when things go poorly. Alright, I'm just going to scoop. Our opponent's got it there. Tend to remember when we flood out and not when we draw awesomely, so... against this deck, what do we even really want? Fighting the lands is an interesting idea. Our opponent does play a lot of non-basic, so Fulminator Mage could be good. Problem is it's not all that powerful, and they have Ether Vial, which gets around it anyway. So it might be better just to play a control role, more or less. Bring in the Damnation, and kind of just try to kill our opponent's stuff and play that way. Hopefully we don't run into the flooding problem again, because that was brutal. We just did not ever find action. Tasigur, Master of Cruelties, PN Karen, Huntmaster, Damnation. What do we go down for this Damnation? I guess we'll just go down at Thoughtseize. Yeah, try it like that. Alright, we get to play first. Oh man, if we had a black source, this hand would be good. We're having some bum luck this match. Alright, we'll try this. Couple removal spells, land to the bottom. We don't really have any pressure, though. We can kill stuff, which is nice, but that's about all we can do. And we gotta assume our opponent's gonna have discard. Caves of Koilos, and there's the Ether Vial for our opponent. Come on, deck, be nice. Well, alright, we can play Scavenging Ooze. That is a creature. Pestern. Opponent plays a Ghost Quarter. And there's a Thalia. Thalia's a bit annoying, but we can kill it if we want to. Blood Crypt, and let's just get Alesha down. Pestern. Opponent ticks up their Ether Vial. There's a Godless Shrine for opponent. The old 2-mana Inquisition of Kozilek. They can take our Eternal Witness, but I don't even know if that's helpful since Alesha can get it back, unless they're going to kill Alesha. Opponent passes. Well, I think we're just going to terminate this Thalia. Yeah, I think we got to do it now because of Flicker Wisp. And then get in with Alesha. First strike means it shouldn't get blown out by Ether Vial. Alright, Path to Exile. Gets us a swamp? Yeah, we'll just take a swamp. Pass the turn. Opponent Vials in. A Dark Confidant. That's pretty bad for us. Opponent only has 2 cards, but that's going to change with Dark Confidant. Vial goes up to 3. Opponent gets a Leonin Arbiter. Oh, dear. Oh, my goodness. And double Ghost Quarter now. So, we're pretty screwed. Yeah, there's... our odds of us winning just dropped to, I don't know, 3%? Assuming they just play Arbiter and double Ghost Quarter us. It's going to be really hard to win from there. Yup. Well, we have not run very well this match. In any sense of the word. There's a Lightning Bolt that we don't have any red mana for. Pass the turn. Opponent gets to keep drawing extra cards every turn. Thanks to the Dark Confidant. Gets a Thoughtseize to steal something from our hand. And a land. I mean, we'll take the bait. Block Dark Confidant. Exile Thalia. Is this a Path to Exile? Is that what's happening? Alright. Not a Path to Exile. Opponent just passes. Well, let's Thoughtseize our opponent. Can't really do anything else. Well, let's take the Dark Confidant. I mean, I guess our only realistic shot here is to go aggro with this Scavenging Ooze. I guess it's not impossible, with our opponent having 2 Thoughtseizes in hand and not much else, that our opponent just draws lands for a couple turns and we can get there with Scavenging Ooze. Of course, like, Flicker Wisp really sets this plan back. Removal Spell just crushes it. Although we're big enough to dodge a Wasteland Strangler now, which is relevant and helpful. There's a Thoughtseize. I assume our opponent takes Bolt? Oh, did they really just top deck Removal Spell? Playing the Thoughtseizes here is pretty greedy if they didn't draw a Removal Spell. They did not, just a Burrington Forge Tender. Okay. Well, we're kind of in reasonable shape. Our opponent doesn't have that long to draw something, although they can start chumping. What do we get? Bloodstained Mire. That's not bad. Well, let's attack with our Scavenging Ooze. See what our opponent does. Blocks with the Arbiter. Well, play Bloodstained Mire, crack Bloodstained Mire. I feel like we're actually getting there now. Grab a... We need a green-red source. Stomping Ground. Play Stomping Ground untapped. So let's see. Our opponent Thoughtseizes. Drops to 5. They're just in chump block mode. Alright, let's... I think what we're going to do here is just Eternal Witness to have another creature. and get back. Man, it's tempting to take a land, but Terminate's probably best. Actually, our opponent's going to Thought Seize, so let's just take a land. Blood Crypt. And pass the turn. Wow, it looks like we're going to survive the double strip mine. I think we're definitely ahead now, after being pretty far behind not long ago. Opponent passes. Ooh, we get a Tassiger. Well, let's just attack with both creatures. Opponent blocks the Witness. Well, let's exile a bunch of stuff. Play our Tassiger. Play Blood Crypt, tapped, and pass the turn. So this is it. Ooh, and our opponent just scoops it up before even drawing for the turn. Okay. I figured they'd at least look at their card and see if they hit something, but we'll take it. Yeah, that worked. Let's just run it back. Yeah, we can't keep this. This hand can't cast. Oh, dear. Well, I guess we're going to 5. Neither of those hands could really do anything. We'll keep this. It is not even close to ideal. Concealed Courtyard for our opponent. Well, let's just Bajuka Bog. Best turn. So this hand, we have Alesha in Grizzly Salvage. I guess there's some world where we can just luck into the Alesha combo. There's a Tidehallow Sculler for our opponent. I'm assuming they just take Terminate here. Alright. They do take the Terminate. We draw another Alesha. Well, Blood Crypt tap, pass turn. Yeah, we might just not cast anything with this hand. No. Opponent has all the Concealed Courtyards. No colorless mana, though, is kind of nice. Opponent gets in. Down to 18. And there's a Wasteland Strangler. Well, jeez. Kill their own Sculler to get rid of the Terminate. That's an interesting choice. Alright, we got a Bolt now, so we can kill Wasteland Strangler, but... I guess we're staying alive, just barely. Opponent gets in. Yeah, I guess we take it for now. Down to 15. Plays a Thalia. Alright, Thalia down. I think we just have to bolt the Thalia here. So if we draw... If we draw a green source, we can cast this Grizzly Salvage. So kill Thalia. Opponent probably has a handful of colorless cards. Come on, lands. Oh, no. Master of Cruelties, the anti-land. Alright. There's Forge Tender. Opponent gets in for 3. Well, I mean, if we don't draw land, there's just no winning this match. Seer Avenger, oh, things are getting worse. Grizzly Salvage, yeah. I think that's game. Because even if we draw land now, I guess our out would have been to either start playing things to play defense, or opponent has Thought Seize. So even if we draw a land, we can't win. We draw land... Yeah, we die next turn, so... Alright. Well... I mean... We won the game where we had the Massive Flood, but we're not going to win 2 landers, so... that's a variance of Magic.